Right, hello, we've got a big drama in the sphere of funny people on the internet. This guy still is offering the smuggling quest, which is very hard to decline actually. The noises in the cantina are audible, these people are new, we're gonna tackle that soon enough. But first, what happened was there was this guy who apparently got caught live on stream having porn opened in one of his windows on one of his screens, and the porn was deepfakes of some other streamers, female by the way. The drama is not that he's homo, no, the drama is that he watched porn of some people that he found attractive, right? And since it's streamers, bitches decided to have opinions about that. And so he came back on stream sometime later apparently, crying about it and apologizing for jerking off. And yeah, so the thing is, first off, bitches say don't sexualize other people, which is weird to hear from the mouth of people who sexualize themselves for you to ogle at and give them attention. Now you could say that's a matter of their power and their consent, cause they decided to do that, so they can do that to themselves. It's their body, they can do whatever they want. But and you don't really. But on the other hand, you don't get to be the thought police. You don't get to tell people who they're allowed to jerk off to or to masturbate, including women, right? Masturbate to. You can't tell people to not masturbate to the pictures you've released. You can't stop people from imagining you naked for them to masturbate to, and you don't have the right to tell people not to draw you for themselves to masturbate to, or have a computer draw you for them to masturbate to. You have no rights in here. You will get no attention for that instead. So what the big cry is about is that there's also a third person apparently who wasn't involved in being jerked off to. But she's really sad that there is deepfakes of her, and that diverts audience to that from her OnlyFans. So she'll try to tackle that, essentially, the concept of deepfakes, probably just the website to remove her, so that she can earn more money off of the attention. And just like I said before, just a moment ago, you don't get to do that. You don't get to tell people that they're only allowed to think about you if they pay you for the privilege. And with with the funny people on the internet having opinions about things like that, this is a new phenomena, of course. Nothing is phenomenon. Nothing is. This isn't. It's just new to them, or they were. I'm not sure. Is it really new to them, or is it that they were so sheltered that they never knew about things like that someone could jerk off to them? Other celebrities, famous actresses, famous people have porn of them being made, and they're not going on their interviews saying, and I'm really sad about how they make fake porn about me. I should sue the websites and the people who jerk off to me for having thought crime, essentially, right? So yeah, a bitch tries to monetize somebody's attention that's not given to her. Some other bitch is annoyed that only she should be able to cause the attention. And some other dude first off gets caught and second then apologize for finding people attractive. Right, so that's the big drama. It's very funny to me how people are now waking up to these events. Like, it seems like people are finally having an opportunity to speak their mind about this, right? Because why would I bring it up all of a sudden if that didn't happen? I probably wouldn't have. Oh, and one more thing. I think in the last episode I forgot to brighten the picture, and I now sort of a little bit start to regret that I've got the mod for the Revan's robe that make them so dark. Also, there is the shader involved that makes everything really dark. Because it's trying to make these lighting fixtures more realistic, and it's not gonna be as bright as if you just had a chandelier over your head. But yeah, because you know the urge is that the guy is wearing black, so the colors used to draw him should be black, right? Only you can't do that because if you draw everything black, you can't really draw any contours, or you wouldn't be able in a realistic depiction of an image like this style is going for. You would need to do highlights in white or in blue, like in Batman, because the things are so black they're blue. But that wouldn't be realistic, and not in every lighting environment. So you have to go for gray, you have to go for lighter colors, so that the picture can be displayed with details. So, and I don't know what file is responsible for this look, so I can't really fix it. Oh well. So let's see, why are these people trying to beat each other to death? There's a twi'lek and Kobayashi, and Kobayashi was supposed to be on Orion. Let's see what it's all about. Also, we level up two of our dudes here.
What's it to you if I am an Arcanian offshoot, twi'lek? I don't see any signs saying we can't come in here.
I don't like Arcanians, but you offshoots are even worse. You think you can just waltz in here and take what you please? You're no Sith.
What do you know about Arcanian offshoots, Wormhead? I bet you've spent too many of your days making sandcastles on Ryloth to know anything about my people.
Master, Ryloth is a barren planet with an arid climate. It would be difficult, if not impossible, to collect the sufficient amount of water required to create sand sculptures in such an environment.
Switch your vocabulary off, Virgo. Insults don't need to make sense.
I'm gonna say this again. If you don't pay what you owe, you're out of here. In fact, what do you say? I just report you to the Sith and let them take care of you.
The Sith don't give a fried gisket of what goes on outside their academy. And if they did, knocking you out clean and cold would probably get me a pat on the back.
Master,
probably.
The Sith may not be interested in enforcing a policy within this colony, but Zerka is.
Too many spaces between but and the comma.
Policy, it could damage your contract with them.
That's right, Arcanian. Listen to your droid. He must be the brains of the outfit. In fact, he ought to cover what you owe me, so give him here.
Hey, you leave Verbal out of this. I'd have punched you right in the nose for that one.
Alright, Verbal is the name of one of the droids, apparently. Oh, you won finally.
Down you go. And remember, it was an Arcanian offshoot that put you there. Waiter, get me another drink. All this action's giving me a terrible thirst.
Master, may I direct your attention to the twi'lek lying unconscious on the floor before you? He was the waiter, and he was trying to collect your bill.
Oh.
Well, I'm glad you're here to tell me these things.
What a twist. Yeah, the scene, almost alright, only, you know, usually when characters speak we get a camera framing their face and they could stop to say things and then resume their animations. That would have been an interesting thing they could have done. Second, you're doing flips and roundhouse kicks and punches and you're not even winded. Like, shouldn't you have considered that you're fighting and that's how you should have been acting this? Of course, twi'lek will hardly have enough. Well, they do have like tired and exhausted or hurt twi'lek lines to cover that, but Mr. Kobayashi, the Arcanian, failed at it. Right. This guy was carrying life support pack, and instead of using it on him to prolong the battle and maybe win, as well as hyper adrenal strength, to give himself a boost to beat this fucker up, he works as a waiter and he lost. What a dumb bitch. Use your fucking medpacks, dumbass. Said the guy who has like 100 is not using them. Because I don't need them, actually. Because I don't need them. Right, so there's the guy, and there's the verbal droid. This guy plays Pazak. Right, so what do you really know, Kobayashi? How do I know you're Kobayashi? Doesn't matter.
Yeah?
Yeah. That was unnecessary. You could have settled your dispute without violence. Because we're Jedi, right? You really taught that twi'lek a lesson. The fool would think twice before intimidating you again. Yeah, the issue is the guy is in the wrong and I would like to admonish him. Not for violence, but in being wrong altogether. But I guess since this is the Korriban and he showed strength to do as he pleases, I should go with the second.
Living on the Outer Rim teaches you a few things. First and most important being how to look after yourself. Let's just say I learned that lesson the hard way.
What is your name, Kobayashi? Also, it must have been his voice talking about Sarah Degana specifically, but I wanted to say Matilda. In the flashback she had when we played her, when we entered Ebon Hawk to start this part of the mod. So who might you be? Kobayashi?
Second lesson I learned is never to give your name to anyone who just walks up to you and asks for it. Come to think of it, I learned that lesson the hard way too.
Yeah, so exactly. We immediately already ruined it. You ruined it for me, and I already know his name. It was above his head. His name is Kobayashi. You might say that we put 2 and 2 together because his name is Kobayashi and he's Arcanian. But also, is he the only Arcanian in the galaxy? Most likely not. So we shouldn't draw conclusions because he is an Arcanian that we've learned about from in the story of Brotherhood of Shadow. So you fucked it up. You most definitely should have. I don't know how this works. You replace him with a guy that's named a stranger or an Arcanian, and then substitute him after the cutscene with a guy that's actually named, or maybe after we talk to him, for a guy that's actually named Kobayashi, so we know that already. But it's spoiled now, and you ruined it. It wasn't. I don't think it was difficult to do it right. I'm very pleased to meet you. Who am I is not important. Now I ask you a question. He didn't ask, is the problem. The first one seems more proper, fitting the situation, where he says, oh, I'm not gonna introduce myself, and you just try to coax him out of it by creating like a social debt. You introduced yourself, so maybe he'll have an incentive to give a name to you now. And the second is, who am I is not important. Yeah, it is not important, that's why he didn't ask. Now I asked you a question. Right, so what do we do? I don't feel like introducing myself either. We just approached him for no apparent reason other than this thing is new and it's moving, so we're interested in what's going on. Let's roleplay that I'm gonna press him for the question, like, come on, tell me your name. My name is, I could give you mine if you give me yours. And also we're here with Shadow. Doesn't he recognize her? But since we're pressing him for an answer, I'm gonna go with second and see what happens. He's not gonna join our party for multiple reasons. So I don't think we're gonna lose any influence with him, so number 2. Come on, man, just tell me what's your name. I can tell you what's my name if you introduce yourself first.
Well, that's real nice. Now why don't you leave me alone before I decide to give us something in common and teach you those lessons the same way I learned them, the hard way.
Master, I know this man. His name is Kobayashi, exactly. I haven't seen him in some time. We should leave before he notices me.
Wait a minute.
He hasn't?
Sarah? Sarah Degana?
Kobayashi, it has been some time.
What are you doing here? I thought you were on the Orion.
I was Kobayashi, but now I'm not.
When I left her, you enjoyed being a crew member. Hell, you enjoyed life. Why did you leave?
The Orion wasn't quite the same since the mutiny, and so it was time I moved on.
You haven't changed. You're still a bad liar. So, I suppose your friend here had something to do with it?
That's a jump in logic. Also, she clearly is enjoying life again. She's wearing skimpy outfits to show off her body, to find some attention from men. But don't you screen cap any of the frames from my videos and Photoshop her into full nudity, alright? You're not allowed to jerk off to her unless she agrees, alright? This especially goes for fictional characters. You're not allowed to sexualize them if they don't agree. How will they agree? I guess they never will, so you're never allowed to find them attractive in any capacity. Like, also, just in case you're wondering, how would you jerk off to pictures? They're just pixels. Yeah, so is a picture of a regular human, and also our brain recognizes the patterns of a human body and finds the information, markers of attractiveness It's not that hard to trick yourself into thinking what you're seeing is a human as opposed to 3D CGI render of a character that doesn't really exist in real world. Just in case you've got some smart things to say, just in case you're one of the streamer girls that came over to tell me I shouldn't think about her naked. Trust me, you wouldn't believe me even if I told you. That does not concern you, Arcanian. Well, since he was so mean for no reason, we're gonna go with second. Also, could we have come here without Sarah Degana and accomplish nothing? I don't know. It's already too late. Well, I actually have a save, so we could see how that turns out. We just might. That might be interesting. That does not concern you, Arcanian.
I know enough to realize it's a Jedi secret your friend here is hiding.
Please, I'd rather you not discuss that now. You know where we are, and Jedi are hardly
Unless
welcome
they're like the dark
here.
Jedi I found in the Korriban Wastes.
We're not
The
Jedi.
kind who come here searching for ancient Sith treasures, but only find death. I've seen plenty of them.
You know of the Korriban Wastes. You mentioned the Korriban Wastes. Well, yeah, he mentioned. We're gonna go with one because we're actually looking for information, and he gave us clues to knowing about that instead of making sure that he actually mentioned the name we're after. Of course, he must be talking about the Echani Solomon. Of course, his name is Solomon. Solomon, and also again jumping to conclusions that we must be Jedi. I don't know why. It would be canonical since, first off, she's dressed like a slut and a sex slave, and second, we're dressed like Darth Revan. Yeah. Oh yeah, was I supposed to already not be wearing the robes and wear just one of the Jedi Civil War wars or Mandalorian Jedi robes, something like that, to be less conspicuous? Am I already not wearing that? We'll see. So yeah, I should have been not dressed up as Revan, because we're still pretending that we're not. We're keeping low profile, cause just in case, right? Anyone, because Malak already knows Revan is out and about and after him as well. Is one thing. Second thing is also we know he captured Wasteland. We know Wasteland's captured, so we've got two reasons to go after him. He knows we're about, but people don't necessarily know how Revan looked like, and that we're it. To call Malak, to inform him that there is this Revan guy here, maybe you should come over and glass the planet. So, yeah, I still wanted to actually wear just the Jedi Civil Mandalorian War Jedi robes for the flavor. I'm gonna fix this soon enough. So, you know of the Korriban Wastes. You know of the Korriban Wastes?
Yeah, I know them. I've been on Korriban for a few weeks now. I was scheduled to meet a Rodian named Drix Kelowit, but he never showed up. I never got paid.
Galut.
So I hired myself out to Zerka, and I've been mapping out an uncharted region of this planet ever since, the Korriban Waste being the uncharted region.
You were supposed to meet Drix Galut because he sent out some sort of a thing to get a guy to help you with the exchange thing from Brotherhood of Shadow, and you were gonna show up. Wouldn't that be better, actually? Because you were already with the Orion, so they know you and they would have trusted you. Were they actually looking for a Jedi to fix their problems? Because it would have been harder, because they were saying we need to use him, but I don't remember what that came to. I don't think anything, really. Did that come to anything? Right, because they said they... Oh... They said they need a Jedi. We're the Jedi. I don't know what was our big role in this. Just being capable of defending the Orion against the exchange, and Jedi being capable, having a reputation of being capable, would have been a good idea anyway. Or was there any other special thing? I don't remember anymore. Anyway. What are the Korriban Wastes? Why doesn't one of Churka's own employees chart the Korriban Wastes? How would one reach the Korriban Wastes? What are the Korriban Wastes?
The Korriban Waste is a name given to a collection of wastelands that lie to the north of Dresh Day. Nothing there really, just rocks, deserts, and plenty of Tukata.
Ah, well, alright. So it's like a desert. Fucking, this is space age. And people have already been here mapping all kinds of things. What do you mean it's unmapped? Why doesn't one of Churka's own employees chart the Korriban Wastes?
Officially, the Korriban Waste is off limits to anyone but the Sith, Zerka included. Don't know why, don't care why, it just is. So Zerka hired me to do the job because I can be very unofficial in how I approach it.
So why do we need the map of maybe for Churka? Maybe Churka wants the maps, but the Sith already mapped the region out, and they're not sharing wisely. One of the options they could have actually approached it two-pronged or two-prongedly from two directions. They could have gone for a scout that actually will map it out and try to steal it from Sith. But maybe then again trying to steal it from Sith would not be seen too good if they first off get it, because then they'll try to explore it, and second, well, but then again maybe they could blame it off of some contractor that managed to map it, but then again they'll be there, so they shouldn't be there, so they'll get whacked anyway. Yeah, so this is lose-lose situation no matter what you do. Will you sell the information to some adventurers just in case? Maybe. I'm not here to make decisions for Churka. Why is Churka trying to map this again? Right. And the second is scouting it out. With anyone or a droid. How would one reach the Korriban Wastes?
Like I said, Korriban Waste is strictly off limits to anyone but Sith.
I am
So
Sith.
why you'd want to go there in the first place is beyond me.
Why are you going? Kobayashi, this is important. You must tell us how to reach the Korriban Wastes.
It's a wasteland, Sarah. There ain't nothing there but rocks, deserts, and danger. Trust me, I know.
I am the danger. Skylar. I'm sure the Korriban Wastes is indeed a dangerous place, but we still need to get there. That does not concern me. We must reach the Korriban Wastes.
When I go to the wastes, I usually go through Zerka's mining facility. It's not exactly the best or easiest of routes, but it allows me to bypass the Sith. For the likes of us, it's the only route. But since the incident which happened here a few days ago, even that route is closed to us.
An incident? What happened?
The incident occurred on one of the levels within Zerka's mining facility. Whatever happened, it was bad enough to warrant the entire level be placed under total lockdown. Word around the cantina is the workforce stationed there at the time of the incident went completely crazy. They lost their minds, started attacking everyone in sight.
If through this quarantined level is the only way we can reach the Korriban Waste, then we will have to find a way to progress regardless of the threat it may pose to us.
Weren't you listening to me, Sarah? It isn't happening. The area is in complete lockdown. Not even Zerka's own employees can get through. Not without the correct authorization.
Didn't ask for your opinion. But since you already blabbered that there is no authorization, we'll get it one way or another. Then how would we acquire the correct authorization exactly? Don't worry, we can handle ourselves. How would one gain the correct authorization? We can handle ourselves. So how do we do it? Great line, amazing, fantastic. It's not even like manipulation. Again, we've got two lines to interact with the story here. Yeah, and yeah. Something like that. Fucking right, we're not trying to manipulate him, persuade him, force persuade him, bribe him, ask more questions. Ask for, right, other routes. No, we just have help us, and we're kinda evil, but help us. The really flexing those writing muscles here. You know, people say criticisms, try writing for yourself. I don't have to. Literal criticism, as in writing literature and having it criticized, is an actual job. This is the editor position in book writing, in even manga writing. There's a guy reading things and saying, "This is shit. You should do better." We're it. We actually have a set of skills needed for an actual job. So you can't tell us, right? You should try writing yourself. Fuck you. Great. Now that we've got that solved, yeah, but we're evil though, so how do we do it?
Under these circumstances, only the administrator of the mining facility could grant you the authorization that would allow you to access the quarantine level. Although I can't see how you'd even get a chance to speak with him, never mind get him to grant you access. I heard he wiped the schedule completely clean of any and all appointments to give himself more time to deal with the incident.
Oh yeah, by the way, of course, the door that we've talked about, at least in the last episode and the previous episode on Korriban, the first time we came over, where we saw that and I tackled it for the flavor. That's the door, yeah. So nobody is allowed to meet with the administrator. Is there a way we can meet with him? Like, seriously? Just give me one line, you know, just be sarcastic, and then you can either interpret it as being in good humor or good spirit, just joking around, lightening the mood, or mocking him. It'll be up to, you know, the player. So nobody is... I'm gonna go with first, because it actually sounds like more of a mockery. So nobody is allowed to meet with the administrator.
Unless you happen to be the delegation dispatched by Zerka HQ that is supposedly on the way to advise the administrator on how to deal with the incident, you ain't getting in.
So we're gonna be it.
I know that look, because the last time you gave it to me, we ended up locked away in a Gamorrean warlord's prison for a week without food and water. I'm not making
Then
that
you should have
mistake.
died.
I'm not helping you, Sarah. I have a contract with Zerka that I just can't afford to endanger.
We'll do it ourselves, we already have all the information. The Cherka HQ administration is coming over to deal with this, so we can, I don't know, hack some raiders. We can stay in space and scan for new ship arrivals and then shoot them down even if we want to. After all, we are first off Sith, and second, the leader of the academy, and the third, actually Revan. Cherka will never learn of your disloyalty. Your contract with them is safe. For your own sake, I would advise that you cooperate. We can just be relatively honest by saying we don't need to tell Cherka.
The delegation of Zerka advisors hasn't arrived yet.
Yes.
I suppose if you acted fast, you could assume their identities and meet with the administrator. But therein lies another problem. The identities of the advisors have to be confirmed through a biometric scan before they're allowed to enter the administrator's office.
Master, what of your hacking apparatus? With the correct authentications, it would be a simple task to gain access to Zerka's records and then replace the biometric data of the advisors with the biometric data of our associates.
Right. The droid's acting so far is good enough, because it is a droid, right? It doesn't have to be act scared or out of breath because there's fighting going on. And you, Kobayashi, should have it fixed so that it actually shuts up until asked, actually. Like, you know, they often say, well, at least it's a trope, I think, where there's nothing going on and everyone's in a pickle, let's say, and then someone does something and someone goes out, why didn't you say you can do that or have this or whatever, right? Why didn't you say something about doing this? And the person says, because you didn't ask. So the only difficulty in the situation would be to train yourself. I can't imagine it would be difficult to train yourself to actually consult your droid when you want to. Remember that he's not gonna speak. Talk to your droid from time to time to hear what it has to say, so it doesn't barge in on its own accord and ruin. Like, next time you're gonna talk to Cherka about something, about your job, the droid is gonna say, remember that time, Master, when we helped those two weirdos break into Cherka's HQ? That's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen because they didn't think this far ahead about the characters, but it could. I would have thought. I did. Yeah, that sounds like a supplement. Your droid speaks the truth, Arcanian. It would need it. What? It would indeed allow us to meet with the administrator. Yeah, your droid speaks the truth. Out of line, Arcanian. Yes, it is definitely the most viable option, and given the circumstances, probably our only.
Not, I haven't even said I'll help you yet. You know, that always was your problem. You always assumed you could manipulate me to do whatever you wanted, regardless of the risk involved. But I got news for you. It still works. Damn it. I'll
Why?
help you for what it's worth. But I swear it won't happen again. I'm onto you.
You're clearly not. Well, right, okay. You're onto her because you know what she can do. Why did you fall for it again? It's not like she's just promised sex with you. It's not like she'll give you anything. She just looked like a wounded puppy and said, "Yeah, that's a good plan. Your droid really had a good plan here. So help us." And you said, "I'm not, but okay." Fuck me. We appreciate the help. I expected no less from you, Arcanian. Yeah, I expected no less from you, Arcanian.
Give me some time to prepare. I need to configure the device to hack into Zerka's system and then to attach a biometrics reader. I'll be on the main level of Zerka's mining facility. Go through the civilian quarters and meet me there when you're ready.
We will meet you there then, and don't take too long. Time is of the essence.
I hope so. I don't want to waste my time on this thing for you not to show. The main level of Zerka's mining facility. Don't forget.
Sure. Right, so our clothes, Revan's robes. We ought to be wearing something cool. Red. That's too cliche. Let's go with grey. And our goggles. For now, I'm gonna swap back again. Yes. Right. So this is our canonical look that we had during the talk with Kobayashi. Is one thing. And second, I'm gonna make a save. See what's gonna happen if I talk to Kobayashi without Sarah. Report back in, and that's probably gonna be it for today.
Yeah? Living on the Outer Rim. Second lesson I learned is well, that's real nice.
Alright, so the situation is if you come here without Sarah Degana, the conversation ends. Also, he's got a visor now.
I've kicked enough Slimo for one day. Let me enjoy my drink in peace.
Yeah, amazing. That's awful, dude. I don't think this is pretty good. Like, I don't know, maybe it could have been done more cleverly, because, right, the quest is about you and Sarah Degana, so you bring Sarah Degana here, and she says, let's leave before he recognizes him, because I recognize him. Let's leave, I shouldn't be here. And then when you actually play into that situation, where she shouldn't be here so she isn't, this doesn't go anywhere. So anyway, that's the report. If you come here without Sarah, nothing happens. So, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully we will see each other in something I play for you for free. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel, share this video with everyone you know, watch everything else on my page, and if you don't like the content, it's entirely your fault. Pussy whipped limp dicks.